Hi everyone, thank you for joining this upper body mobility and symmetry session. I think we focus a lot on symmetry through our seat and leg strength, but sometimes we forget that we need symmetry through our upper body as well. Stiffness or weakness on one side of our upper body is going to impact our contact, it's going to impact our ability to rotate and turn through our body when we're doing circles and lateral work. So having that symmetry through the upper body is just as important, and this is what we're going to focus on through this session. So let's get you started. I'm sitting cross-legged, but you can sit however is most comfortable for you. If you need to sit on something, then absolutely go for it. Pause this, go and get something to sit on, and then start when you're ready. Okay, so I'd like you to think about your posture, feeling that you've got equal weight through your seat bones as your base. Because if you haven't got equal weight through your seat bones, you haven't got any hope of having symmetry further up, so that does have to be your starting point. Then your elastic spine drawing you up tall, so you're not fixed and rigid, but nice and soft and elastic. Feel like your head is just floating on the top. And then you're going to turn your head from side to side. Try to keep your eyes level so you don't sink down as you turn. You really want your eyes to be level, and then you're going to maximise the turning or rotation ability through those joints in your neck. Okay, then arms across your chest. Now again, focusing on those equal headlights, but also as you turn, keeping your shoulders level. So how many people get told you're collapsing to the side? Whilst we're not addressing one of the key issues for that, which is strength around your hips and pelvis, awareness is really, really key. So if you're aware that you dip down to one side, you collapse to one side, practicing holding that equal weight, that symmetrical position through your base, and then being able to have symmetry of movement on top is going to go a long way to helping you identify when you're doing it in the saddle. So shoulders are level, seat bone pressure is equal. Now we're going to swap. So your legs are folded the other way, and then your arms are folded the other way, and then the same thing again. So equal weight through your seat bones and level shoulders as you go into that turn. If you are a little bit stiffer one way, don't panic, but clock that and see if you can work on it. So an exercise like this, you don't have to wait for me or someone else to be telling you to do it. If it's pain-free and there's no reason why you shouldn't be doing it, then you can do this many, many times a day. You don't have to sit on the floor, you can do it in the car, you can do it, not when you're driving obviously, you can do it at work, you can do it at the kitchen table, anytime you need to. If this is something you need to work on, go for it. Okay, then bring your arms up and out into a little V shape, and gently take your arms and upper body behind you, and then relax up to the top again. So gently behind you, don't force it, and up to the top. And we're going to do one last one. So arms up, behind you. Okay, we're going to go onto your front, and I'd like you with your arms out to the side and your elbows bent to about 90 degrees. We're going to do an exercise called the Cobra, which is a very good mobilising exercise. So you want to have your nose resting on your mat, just the tip of your nose, and you're going to scoop forwards and up so that you're looking straight ahead. I'll talk to you like this sometimes so you can hear me better, but you're looking straight ahead, then straight down and scoop back in. So scoop forwards and up as high as you can go, straight down and scoop back in. If you want to go a little bit further, bring your elbows slightly forwards, hands slightly out. It's only a little movement. And the same thing again, you scoop forwards and up, but you can come up onto your hands instead this time. And then again, straight down and scoop back in. As you're doing this, feel that you're peeling up through your neck, through your chest and tummy, and then laying down through your tummy, chest, neck, and then your nose. If you're just doing the first part of this, you won't be lifting through your tummy. Don't do this version of it if you get any back pain in this position. Just do what is comfortable. And try to feel that your bottom and legs are completely relaxed. This is just about moving through your spine. Do one last one. Okay, we're going to move on to an exercise called the breaststroke preparation. If you're new to Pilates, there's lots of water references. I think it's quite useful for things being soft and flowing. But anyway, so I want you to be looking face down. I'm going to face you so that you can hear me a little bit better for now. Bring your shoulder blades back and down. That should lift the front of your shoulders away from the floor. Have your hands either thumb and index finger down or palm down, but not palm up, because that just encourages your shoulders to roll forward. So thumb and index finger down or palm down. Try to lift your tummy away from the floor, just as if you were slightly trying to lift away from a puddle of water. You don't need a great big gap like this, that would fix you completely. It's just the opposite of allowing yourself to collapse down. So just feeling that you're slightly holding yourself away from the floor. Bring your pelvic floor onto floor 3. Float your fingers off the floor, reach for your toes and rest back down. So it's float, reach, rest back down. And what you should be feeling with this is that your shoulder blades are sliding, it might only be a centimetre, down your back. Try to make sure it's the same on both sides and make sure that both shoulders are back and down and you haven't got one that's sinking down towards the floor. If that's easy, you can add in a little lift through the head at the same time. That just works a little bit more through the upper back. But watch as you do that you don't then sink down through here and hinge through your low back. A, it'll be uncomfortable, but B, it just locks you through your low back. So your low back is staying fairly still because you're keeping your tummy away from that imaginary puddle of water. Try to keep your pelvic floor onto floor 3 as well. And also watch that you're not holding your breath, so really try to keep breathing as much as you can. Last one. Okay, super job. We're going to turn onto your side, and I'd like you to bend your knees to wherever feels comfortable and have your arms out in front of you. If you're using a headrest, have your head to the front of your headrest. You're going to take your top arm up and out behind and look at your hand all the way. When you get to that furthest point, check that your knees are still pressed together and pressed into the floor. What we're not looking for is this. We're looking for this because then you get all that rotation through the upper body and then we're going to come back. So this is really about making sure your spine moves right through the whole of your spine and not just parts of it. Okay, on the way back I would like you to pause, reach up with your fingertips, pull down with your shoulder blade and then bring your hand back down. So you're going all the way out, looking at your hand, knees are pressed together, and then on the way back reach up with your fingertips, pull down with your shoulder blade. I'm going to stay and do a few of these so I can talk about them. You want your hand to be soft, your elbow to be straight but soft, and all of that movement is coming from your shoulder blade. You want that movement to be nice and smooth, so it's not really jerky. This is really key because the muscles that are controlling and moving your shoulder blade are big players when it comes to the strength and stability of your contact. So it's a really, really useful little exercise to do, and make sure that you can do it as easily on one side as you can on the other. Right, let's turn on to the other side, talking of one side and the other, and we're going to do the same thing again. So knees are bent, arms out in front. I'm going to have to close my eyes for this one with the sun. So up and out behind, look at your hand all the way. Knees once again pressed in to the floor, pressed into each other, not coming away like this, and back over. You really want to feel all that movement coming right up through your spine, opening out through your neck and shoulder. On the way back, once again, reach up with your fingertips, pull down with your shoulder blade before you come back down. Opening out to start, stopping at the top of the way back, and again I will stay here so you can keep checking in if you're not sure if you're doing it right. Keep checking with what I'm doing even though I've got my eyes closed. So again, you're looking to reach up with the fingertips, pull down with the shoulder blade, keep it really smooth. Fingers are soft, elbow is straight but soft. And you're really controlling that movement, making those shoulder blade muscles really work. They worked hard when you did your breaststroke preparation. Now they're working hard now, but this is really going to set you up having much better control and stability of your contact. Okay, bring that hand back down. We're now going to go onto your hands and knees. I'm going to turn the other way again so that not so much moves in the sun. Not that I'm minding the sun, but it does make things a little bit tricky. Okay, we're going to start with an exercise called swimming. You might know it as Superman, depends on who's been teaching how to do it. The most important thing is that you keep your back basically still, not fixed and rigid, but basically still. So we're going to start off just by doing opposite arms out in front. You should find this fairly easy. You want to keep your weight in the middle of the movement as you go. If you find that easy, give the arms a rest. You're going to do the same thing with your legs. That feeling of lifting behind you or sliding and lifting. When you do the legs, just try to watch that you don't dip through your back. It's harder when you add in the legs because the arms have to take a lot more weight. So just watch that you're not really shifting from one side to the other. You may well find as you do this that if you're weaker on one side, you start to get a bit of shaking through that arm. If you're finding that easy though, you can make it a little bit harder and you can do opposite arms and legs. This is where it starts to get really telling about the strength and stability you have through your upper body and around your hips as well, but particularly around the upper body, because if you're weaker on one side, you'll find it much harder to be balancing on that side. Try to keep your back still as you go. So you are just moving through your shoulders and through your hips. Super. Okie doke. Right, staying in this position, we're going to do a lovely exercise called threading the needle, and it's a really, really good one for mobility and trying to make sure that you've got as much movement on one side as the other. So you take one hand up, look at your hand and pass it through the gap on the other side, so like you're threading the needle. You can bend the elbow as you go and go a little bit further. Bring that hand down, the same with the other one, up and pass it through the gap. So like with the one you did on your side, you look at your hand all the way through, and that way you maximise the rotation through the whole of your body. And you really make sure that it's not just one part of your spine, but the whole of your spine, and right up through your neck and your shoulder are getting the mobility benefit. One more each way. And if you find this quite easy and feels quite similar, then try doing it with a resistance band. I think it might be one of my resistance band sessions, or with a weight. And that's a really nice way of showing you differences that you didn't know you had. You think you can do it quite well without resistance or weight, add in that little extra challenge and it's suddenly much harder. Okay, if you can, kneel back onto your heels. If you can't quite manage that, you tuck your toes underneath or just stop at a halfway point. Have your hands out in front of you, provided it's comfortable, so you stop where it feels comfortable and do a couple of nice big breaths in. Then bring your hands back up and let you to come back into sitting. Again, cross-legged if you can, but if you can't quite manage it, sit on something or sit with your legs out in front, or frog's legs. Pop your arms up in front, so to keep your elbows level. Once again, equal weight through your seat bone as you push your elbows forwards and come back. So you're going forwards and come back. Equal weight through your seat bones the whole way through. Then see if you can add in a little scoop and back. And this little scoop just helps you to mobilise and extend your upper back a wee bit more. So if you're someone like me who does get a bit stiff through here, this is a really good little exercise, even if it's a little bit awkward to do. So I'll agree it isn't the smoothest to do. It's a really good one for mobilising, so you're not carrying that stiffness through into the saddle. Let's swap. So you fold your legs the other way, fold your arms over the other way. Same thing again, equal weight through your seat bones as you push forwards and back. Try to keep your elbows level. It's hard to check if your elbows level. What you're trying to avoid is that happening. So elbows are level, and then again you're going to go forwards and up. So again you're mobilising that upper back. If you get any shoulder pain doing this, obviously you can just do it from here. It's not quite the same, but if you've got shoulders that don't want to go into this position, then just modify it as you need to, or you can just do them like this instead. So just modify. Let's do one more. Okay, then bring your arms back down, relax through your shoulders, give them a little bit of a move around if you need to. Check you've got equal weight still in your seat bones. An elastic spine that's just helping you to grow an extra inch with your head floating on the top. And we are going to stop there. So well done for doing all of those. I hope you've enjoyed that session. I hope you found some little bits that you perhaps need to go and work on. It's always worth remembering it's not just about symmetry. There's so much work on symmetry through your seat and through your legs. Mustn't forget the upper body, and that's mobility and strength. So we've done lots of mobility work, but a bit of strength here as well. Anyway, I'm waffling. Thank you so much for watching. If you haven't already subscribed, please do so. Share these videos as much as you like to, and look after yourselves. I'll see you very soon.